All right.
But we didn't see that, right? Only Vidar.
Oh, I guess I don't know that.
Yeah,
Only
I don't
Vidar
know
saw
that.
that.
Hmm.
So I get down, and I rejoin the group.
Okay, as you rejoin the group, the kobold is saying that he himself hasn't taken an opinion on the floating stars. He knows that, because of the chance of ridicule, people wouldn't make this up. So something definitely is happening. He just doesn't know exactly what it is. He's not ready to just write it off to magic or whatever. He thinks something really actually is happening. And who knows, maybe it does have to do with the prophecy.
Hey, speaking of prophecy.
Well, he says that there is a prophecy that the first age, which was the age of dwarves, and the second age, which was the age of elves, had given way to the age of man, the third age, the age that is right now, when man pretty much kind of rules the kingdoms of this planet, this world. He says that the prophecy is that a fourth age will dawn, and in that fourth age, the kobolds will rule this world, and that age will be accompanied by signs in the skies. It will be accompanied by the appearance of otherworldly beings, and it will be accompanied by the death of a great human that spawns chaos, which is finally brought under control, and peace will be returned by a kobold leader of great renown and great power.
Hmm. Have you? I asked him if he's seen any. No, that's already been addressed.
Do the floating stars and everything, do these seem to line up with the prophecy? Do kobolds feel like we might be kind of on the brink of that fourth age?
Well, and that's what the talk is, and that's why things are getting tense. He says in his village, some have kind of given this a religious significance. And so they believe that signs are lining up in the skies that are meant to trigger the prophecy. In fact, he knows there are kobolds stockpiling weapons, even campaigning and looking for magical items, and trying to find whatever will help kind of launch or usher in this fourth age. His personal feeling is these, whatever the floating stars are, whatever they are, he's very, very worried it can start a war between the kobolds and man.
I take a risk and I tell him that we saw the floating stars kill however many kobolds there was in that group beforehand.
Okay, his reaction is initial reaction is to kind of be stunned. He does believe you. He doesn't know what to make of it. And you can kind of read in his eyes, he's kind of trying to put this all together, and maybe he's wondering, is this really going to come down? Was the prophecy real?
So this fourth age of kobolds, does that mean death of the other races, or just that there's a new world leader kind of a thing? Or
you're asking him?
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering.
He shakes his head and he says, "I'm very, very sorry, but it means much bloodshed." And he says, "I won't tell you that my own people are completely innocent in this. They're not completely guilty, but according to the prophecy, there will be many, many lives lost, and there will be a period of time where the whole world is upturned, and where the very strongest forces of good and evil must face each other."
So when he was explaining the prophecy, did he mention people from the stars or something like that?
Yeah. Part of the prophecy, and I'm assuming you'd want to ask him, part of the prophecy is that what sort of is a sign that it's coming is other worlders or outworlders or beings from somewhere else kind of show up. There's stars in the skies, and all of these things kind of line up at the time when there's some kind of big showdown that erupts.
I want to ask him if he's seen people from other worlds.
No.
Have you heard about them?
He doesn't know what that's about. No.
Okay.
Have the other worlders been?
I lost the tail end of that.
Or have the other worlders been described in any way in the prophecy?
No, that's the thing, and that's why nobody really knows what they're supposed to look for. Now he will say the assumption has been that they're creatures from the lower planes. So we might be talking about devils or demons or stuff like that. That's more what they're thinking in terms of other planes, not literally space or whatever,
How much time has passed? How close are we to the village throughout this entirety of this
While you guys are talking, because it wasn't a long walk across that open area, you're coming back definitely you're coming to Zoralon. You have to go to Zoralon and then leave Zoralon to go out to his village. In the city, you can see the ongoing effort to clean up from the explosion, take care of the buildings, put out fires. Every now and then another fire is sparked because they're still burning timber here and there. They're all working on that. You presumably go to the main street, which leads to the main entrance to the city in the west, which is the commercial road that heads down to Califar. And as you're you're probably 5-6 blocks from the main entrance to the city, off to your right and a little behind you, that's when you hear some gruff voice say, "Look, there goes another one of those kobolds and his friends. They caused the explosion." What do you do?
No, it was the Mages Guild.
Oh no.
A group on the other side of the street calls out, "That's right, it was the wizards, not the kobolds." And the guys, "It was..." And they rush each other with you in the middle.
Oh dear.
Run out of the way.
Yeah,
And I'm
for
gonna
sure
pull-
dodge.
kobold with it.
Swords are drawn and daggers are brought out, pitchforks, whatever they can find, and they go at it in the middle of the street. City guardsmen appear presently to put down the riot. Go ahead.
Does somebody still have the cloak that we took from our gray friend?
I have the insignia,
I
but
have
not
the
the
cloak.
cloak.
Can we give it to the kobold so that we don't have this issue again?
Wait.
Okay, so you give him the cloak to kind of hide
Wait.
himself, right?
Yeah.
No. I don't want
No,
to
you don't want to do that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
I'm not giving him the cloak. There were people shooting the Baron in that cloak. I'm not giving him the cloak. I'm hiding it. It's in my pouch though.
That's a good point.
While all of this is happening and you guys are discussing about the cloak, you can hear someone telling the city guardsmen, pointing at your party and claiming that you all were involved in inciting a riot. And one of them in particular points to Vidar and says, "That guy, whether he's in the Green Dragon or on the main street of the town, wherever he is, you can find a riot." And the city guardsmen now are moving in your guys' direction.
That's a lie. He's trying to frame me. He's the one that's been starting those riots.
And someone from the other party says, "Wait a minute, isn't he the guy that said that it was the wizard's fault and not that?" "Yeah, isn't that what made us mad?"
No, it wasn't me. You're mistaken. It was the.
Good defense. Good. Yeah.
You make it very
That'll get us out of this.
argument.
It was the kobold.
Very compelling argument.
What do you do?
I say we're going to meet the Baron. It's not us.
I guess we're stopping to meet the Baron.
We have a meeting with the Baron.
One of the city guardsmen says, "Oh, you'll meet the Baron, all right." And
I'm
he's
the guy
taking
that
out
saved the Baron
handcuffs.
earlier.
Good.
Remember me? I'm the guy that told the Baron to duck down when he got that
He
arrow.
stops. He thinks about it for a minute. "Wait a minute. I think you are that guy." Favorable reaction, puts away the handcuffs, and says, "All right, I'll let you go." And they turn back to the crowd and arresting those people.
Good.
What do you do?
Go meet
As
the
it should
Baron.
be. Let's go see
wanna-
the Baron.
Yeah, I want to
Oh,
ask.
wait a
well, I
minute.
guess-
Wait a minute. Remember, we have a kobold with us. This could
Right.
end badly.
Hide him in the same alley or hide him in that building we didn't burn down.
Are there any buildings? Because I feel like we burnt
We burned the
everything.
The serial
Scorched earth policy.
arsonist.
Or I'll stay with the kobold. Keep an eye on him, and we can. And maybe you three go see the Baron, or
We can take the kobold. Don't be a baby.
I don't think the
We'll dress him
famous
up.
dancing dwarf is not going to draw any attention.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Let's all go. The Baron.
Is there
Okay.
a way that we can disguise the kobold? Hold on. Can we disguise the kobold? Remember, there were 10 people bearing a kobold. This is not going to end well.
While you guys are talking about disguising the kobold, make an unmodified perception roll. Just a standard versus your perception roll, no modifier.
pass.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay, then. All of you hear sort of another kind of a much lighter and higher, slight rushing wind sound, and kind of look off to your left. And between the buildings, you actually see this. There is a cloaked figure. Can't make out what race, but the cloaked figure is seated on what would appear to be sort of like a sawhorse, but it's made out of metal, and it doesn't have legs, and it's levitating, and he crosses kind of from behind one building to behind another building, and this thing is floating, and he sails across with just this slight rushing wind sound at the end of the building kind of to your left. You kind of all at the same time see that, like, what was that?
I'm gonna take off after him. I want to go see what that was.
Okay, you can definitely do
The
that.
metal sawhorse.
I'm going after the sawhorse.
All right, so Sako runs off down the alley. It's a short distance to get there. What does the rest of the party do?
I run with him.
All right, you run with him. The other two, Borgin and Nilian?
Borganillion.
Can the
Dagesh, let's
kobold
go.
keep up with us?
Yes, it's a short
Okay.
distance.
Okay.
I say let's go.
Okay, you
I'll
run
chase up.
down and turn left, go around behind the building. The guy on kind of the floating device, he moves toward a building that's behind, so it's another street behind, moves toward that building where there's sort of an attached shed that's open. He goes into that shed. You see him kind of jump off the floating device and very quickly close the doors, and you hear a clunk as he lowers a board across the doors on the inside. What do you do?
Mm.
I want to sneak up to it.
All right. Well, you can do that.
I'm gonna run up to it.
All right, you run up to it. What do you
Right
do?
up to it. I'm gonna bang on the door. Say, "Open up! I saw you go in there." Listen, no fear. I'm tired of playing this little tiptoe game, guys.
I'm gonna.
Here we
Oh,
go.
banging on the door.
I can't wait.
nothing
Open
happens.
up.
Can't wait.
I'm going to run through the door with my body.
All right.
All right, Casper.
Roll d20 and tell me what you get.
Okay. 14.
Basically, you bounce off the door, but you don't take damage.
Okay.
Good job, dwarf. Good work. You found the door.
At
trying
this
to get
point,
in.
you hear some voices inside the building because the shed is attached to a building, and you hear some voices now kind of excitedly talking in some different language inside that building.
I would like to use languages spell
Okay.
that allows interpretation of languages I don't.
Ooh.
You actually can pick up part of the conversation, so it is related to studied. And you can tell from the conversation that they're talking about two things. First, they're talking about outsiders or people on this world are trying to get in. What do we do? And then something about hide it.
I was
Hide
wondering
it.
if I could sneak into the building, if there are any windows or anything that I can sneak in and kind of just see.
You know, that's what's interesting because the building does have windows. When you look at them, the windows, which originally to you just looked like they were dark, now appear to actually have been covered with some kind of material that's blackened, and you can't see through it.
Can I open a window and sneak in?
What do you want to do to try to open a window?
Just nudge it open.
As you go to the window and kind of pull on it, now is when you can see that the black material covering what was the window panes itself is actually metal. And the interesting thing is once you've discovered that there's metal covering this window, you see it's of a type that you're not used to. You're used to metal in your world being handcrafted and forged and fashioned. It's got marks and things on it from being worked. This metal doesn't. This is like silky smooth. It might as well be a pane of the finest glass, but it's clearly metal. You don't even see how it's affixed to the wall. It's just there.
Do we all notice that, or is it just Vidar?
It's something you can see from more of a distance, but because he's there trying to open a window, he's up close to it and going, wow, what is this?
All right, so I go back to the group. Can I tell if it looks like the metal, like of the flying metal box thing?
That was at too much of a distance, but
Okay.
I mean, you could, there's kind of a similarity.
Okay. So I go back to the group and I let them know, kind of, hey,
All right.
that's not like a sheet covering that window. It's metal. It's really smooth. It's weird. Must have been a very, very good blacksmith.
Did you hear them saying
Metal
anything though
worker.
through the window?
I don't think no. I didn't hear him say anything.
Something more, just still muffled like we're hearing.
Yeah, I think we should just try and open this thing. Let me go ahead and try and get my short sword up in between the door and see if I can prop open whatever's holding it.
All right. Actually, you can. Because the outside of the shed is like, standard shed, and you can stick your short sword in there, and yeah, you can actually lift. You can feel there's a chunk of wood, a board or whatever across, kind of holding the doors. You can lift that and fiddle with it long enough and kind of get it to drop on the other side.
Like a
What do you
good
do?
rogue would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do that and I open the doors.
Inside, you find kind of the hovering, levitating metal thing that this guy was on. You see now that it is sort of has handles on it that he, to hold on to and to while it's moving. It has a hose of some type extending from it to a panel on a wall. The panel's made out of metal, and it sort of has it's like different colors of glass with maybe some kind of light source behind them that blinks in different kinds of intervals and things. And there's one panel of kind of like glass in the metal that's red, and it appears to be slowly climbing from left to right, crossing that panel of glass. There's a door on the left. This would be a door kind of attached to the main building. That door is not wooden. That door is metal.
Are there any like handles or anything? Can we try and open it?
You notice to the right and about stomach high, there's sort of a glass panel set into the wall there, but no door handle, no hinges. You also notice as you look at all of this more carefully that the boards of the shed appear to have just kind of been stuck up against the wall as a covering for what's really beneath.
Mm-hmm.
What does this pad look like? I want to investigate.
It's a square. It's a square about 10 inches tall by about 8 inches wide, rectangular. It's glass. The funny thing is that it's this glass. It's in the wall, but there's no visible sign of how it's affixed to the wall. It's sort of flush with the wall and part of it, but it's glass. It's weird.
Are there any symbols on it or anything?
No,
Okay.
no symbols.
While whatever they're doing, I just want to inspect the metal thing that the guy flew in or levitated.
Okay. Basically, it's hovering there, and when you take a look at it, you'll notice it does have where the handles are. There seem to be it's covered with kind of a rubbery substance where the hands would go. And on the back side, kind of where the fingertips would be, there are 4 on each side, little like bumps that look like they might recess into a little bit into the rubber or do something. You also notice that where the feet kind of go, that there are a couple of pedals there that are part of like where the feet rest, and that's about it. Otherwise, it really doesn't have a lot of identifying marks.
If I go up to the metal door, do I hear anything through there? Anybody talking? Any noise on the other side?
You definitely hear voices on the other side. It's some kind of language that you don't know.
All right. I'm gonna get close to the door, and I'm going to again use languages.
Okay.
Do I need
Should
to
we-
cast that again, or since I
No.
was successful last time?
No. You can tell on the other side of the door. By the way, you're getting better. It's close enough to languages that you have studied. It's close enough to languages that you've studied that you're able to kind of start picking up more and more kind of naturally. They are definitely saying something to the effect of, well, this is technology and they're on-worlders. There's no chance that they'll get in here. We don't have anything to worry about.
I turn to the group and tell them that they're not concerned about us getting in, and they mentioned some word called technology. I say that in a strange kind of way, as trying to enunciate.
How do you know it? Are you an off-worlder? How do you know what they're saying?
Through my studies, I have learned a spell that allows me to, through the mystic arts, learn a language without ever having to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like something an off-worlder would say. I'm gonna detect intent on Nil.
Please do.
Detect intent. I got a 1. So
Wow.
That's a perfect.
That's
need to know
perfect.
what he's thinking.
Detect intent is why is he doubting me?
Deal. That's good enough. I trust him.
Wait, what did you just do?
He
How do
just
you all of a
My
sudden trust
training
him?
in mystic arts, I know a spell that lets
Clearly
me-
you're surrounded by wizards, and wizards blew up the town.
Conspiracy.
So I want to look around the shed and see if there's anything that kind of fits or would seem like it would go in front of that panel or something.
Okay, I rolled a 1. You hear footsteps coming in your direction from the street,
Ooh.
not from the building, from the street.
We left the
Coming
door
up
open,
I,
didn't we?
I closed the door and I put the thing back on.
As you go to close the door, you see a crowd of about 14-ish. They're wrapped in bandages, and the bandages have some blood showing through them. Some have, one's got a dislocated arm hanging
How did they know that I'm
down.
here?
They're partially crawling, and they start pointing to the dwarf. There he is, the dancing dwarf.
No, I go and hide as Vidar tries to shut the
Where
door.
you're kind of like in a shed or a garage shed kind of a thing. Where do you hide? They break into kind of a broken, limping trot toward the open garage.
Hide in
Okay.
like a canister. Is it like a barrel? Is there a barrel?
Is there
of,
something I can hide into?
Don't just look, you
No.
fools. Help me with the
Just-
door.
Just the floating thing.
I'm hoping I help Vidar with the door.
Yeah, I do too.
Borgin,
All
they
right.
want to dance. They
You
want
go
the
to
dancing
the
dwarf.
door and start to close the door, but there's 14 of them and only a couple of pushing
That's-
against it and pushing it open.
I kick Borgin out and I close the door.
What?
Oh no!
Good call. Borgin, they want you.
So you kind of open the door enough to push him out, and they start pressing in. You push him out, they're pushing in, and they're coming into the garage now, and it's loud, and there's no surprise. And dancing dwarf, they're yelling, dance for us. And
Can you like conga
Alright.
line them out of here,
I s-
please?
I start pressing buttons on the device that's hooked up, that's floating. I just start pressing buttons.
okay. Yeah, so where are you located, and how do you go about the pressing of the buttons? That's all of that is important.
I am to the side of it.
Okay.
Between, you said there was like a metal rope looking thing hanging out of it into
Yes.
a panel on the wall. So I'm
Yep.
by that. I'm on that side.
Okay.
Just
All right.
pressing buttons.
Pressing buttons on that side doesn't seem to cause anything to happen. Meanwhile, the garage is and now the ones in the back of this group are calling to others farther down the street, "He's here! We found him!"
Okay, I'm gonna run outside this shed and start booking it down the alley.
Okay, you run out of the shed and start to run down the alley, and your groupies run after you.
Take one for the team. All right, Vidar and Ilian, while he's out there distracting them, we need to move quick with whatever we're going to do. Vidar, what are you doing with the horse?
I saw this thing floating. I was trying to hit stuff. I don't know.
What if you break it?
You hear more talking now, a louder talking inside of the building, more excited, worried, definitely worried. You can tell from the tone. What do you want to do?
I still want to look around the shed and see if there's anything I can put on that panel or something, symbols that would guide me on how to open this door.
Now, there's really not much in the garage other than this kind of chained to the wall or plugged to the wall or whatever to the wall. Yeah.
I hit the door. Hey, we just want to talk.
Okay. Anybody else?
Good man.
So as I'm running out, I want to run around the building, see if I can find another entrance into that building.
There's just the kind of the front door on the same side of the building as the street.
Does
that entrance.
Okay.
Does my languages also apply to speech? Like, can I use that?
No, you're going to have to kind of gradually pick up terms and stuff. It just allows you to hear it and kind of understand generally what's going on. And you can tell by the way that excited talking on the inside is an argument between at least 2 or 3 people. Sounds more like 3.
Okay.
And the argument has to do with, do we call down reinforcements?
Okay. Okay. I've had a couple of instances where I've interacted with this language. Is it enough for me to say the word?
To say what?
Is to say the word hello in their language.
Yeah, you could do some kind of greeting.
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Okay, so you do that. They rolled 18. They're not buying it. And, however, the one who is trying to be more peaceful and not call down reinforcements, it currently appears to be kind of winning the argument. He's trying at this point to convince the others and say, there's no reason why brute force has to always be the solution on this world. Maybe I doubt they can even get in anyway. They have no way to know what the access panel does, so we'll just wait it out.
Can we tell?
And currently, the other ones are accepting it.
I know we can't understand what they're saying. I know Nillian can, but we can't. But can we at least tell? Is it a deep voice? Do they sound like larger, or are they?
You know what? They sound kind of like kind of like the Outworlder who said he wanted out of this. He didn't want to do it anymore.
I want to try to make my way through the front entrance.
When you get to the front door, and of course your entourage is all coming with you. How do you want to try to get in the front door? Because when you grab for the handle, it just kind of spins. It doesn't. It's a fake handle.
I want to try. I'm going to take out my hammer and take a swing at the door.
All right. Your hammer, oddly enough, bounces off the door.
I'm going to do something crazy here. Okay, I'm going to go to Borgin. I'm going to the best of my ability, teach him how to say hello and tell him to tell his crowd to scream that at the door.
All right. And do you do that?
That is great.
Do I do that? Yeah. So I go to my I face my followers. I said, "Followers, I need your help. I want you."
Anything, dancing dwarf.
And I say, "I need you to say," and whatever Nillian
loaf of bread
conveys to me. So I say whatever Nillian wanted me to say. I tell that to them and say, "I want you guys to shout this."
Synchronized.
Sure.
Synchronized in the name of dance.
The name of dance.
Yeah. So basically, they will shout that, and Nillian, you suddenly hear the voices on the inside stop. There's no more talking going on the inside.
I told Morgan to keep doing it.
Again.
Okay. So they're out there, and yeah, they're shouting that word.
Do I hear any kind of reaction at all inside?
No.
Help me, guys.
However, you do notice something that happens inside the garage, and that is all of a sudden, all of those glass panels that were set into the metal, everything all goes dark.
If I touch any of those panels, does anything happen?
Wait,
Any kind of
this is in
reaction?
the garage?
Yeah.
In the garage.
Wait,
Yeah.
so who's in the garage right now? It's
I thought it was
just
just
me
you
and
guys.
Sakai.
Just you guys. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
outside.
Oh, it's
Sakura.
just-
Well, yeah, the dwarf is on the front porch, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing happens if you touch the panels.
And we have no way to open the metal door that's in the shed where we are.
Not
What
yet.
What do you want to do that?
I want to touch that panel thing that's... what
The
happened?
door opens.
Okay.
Vidar, I see you have
Oh,
some
wow.
mystic, some magic in your hands as well.
Hey.
Nice work.
You're welcome.
Nice work.
That's
I
what the
like how
ladies
you
tell me.
trusted him.
All right, I'm gonna go. What do we see through the door if I peek through?
On the other side of the door is a very different environment than what we're used to seeing. Just inside some sort of woolen floor covering is on the floor, wall to wall. Inside, the walls are smooth. They even appear to be made of metal. Inside, to your left, which would be kind of the front door of the building, kind of out to the street, is just kind of a broad, open, rectangular area. On both sides of the wall, there's sort of like a bench, a padded bench, but there's nothing else there, just that and what would be the door. But to your right, you find 6 chairs. The chairs aren't like anything you've seen before. They're upholstered. Each of them rest on a single metal pole or pedestal that's somehow attached to the floor. In front of those 6 seats, there is a broad, flat, like a shelf at the front. The shelf itself has lots of those, they're almost like gems, but not like gems, but that's the only way to really describe them, set into the shelf. And at the front, there's a large glass panel, like a window, except that it's just looking at boards because it's been covered up by this building. So the building on the outside, the boards have been erected to cover what this is, whatever it is, that's on the inside. You notice inside there's low-level lighting. The lights are emanating from these sort of glass panels set every so often into the ceiling and also along the floor. It's just a soft light. You hear a low humming sound coming kind of out of the floor itself, a low hum. But the light, on the panel, on the shelf, the lights all seem to be off.
Something that I just remembered is Dagesh. Did he come with us?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him. Do you recognize it? Do you know what any of this is?
No, he's floored. He's like, yeah, he does not know.
And we don't see anybody in here. Where the voices were.
The voices definitely were here, and you don't see anyone.
Let's keep looking around. Let's see if we can find someone.
As you look around, you happen to notice now that you're moving a little bit on one of the seats. There is a rectangular device, instrument, something. It's rectangular. It's made out of metal. So the back, I guess, side of it is metal. The front side is all glass. And it was just sitting on this chair.
I look back and I notice that the door is open now. I kind of kneel over to Borgen and I say, find a way to have them stay here. Like tell them to dance here in unison or something while we go into.
Oh, you mean the Borgen's around out front on the porch with his groupies? Do you
Yeah.
go out there to tell him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go out there and tell him dance with your groupies. Kind
Well,
of a thing.
I want to
Have them stay
have
here.
them dance, stay here. Like, is there a way that he can
Mhm.
convince them to stay there? Like, maybe like I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I'll
He
give
can
it a
keep him
shot.
busy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can keep him busy. Sure.
Okay.
What-
Then yeah,
All right.
I'd do that. Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to do on the inside of this building?
Vidar, the last time that you touched a glass panel, the door opened.
Should I touch this one?
I think we should, but
Does
I had-
Millian come back in first? or
maybe
is
we
he-
should wait for Borgin and Nillian
Yeah.
in case
Yeah.
in
I
case
go
it
back
closes
into
them outside.
the shed, and then realize that they made their way in.
Okay.
Borgin, what did you do with your groupies?
All your groupies come with you.
Oh no, you have to. Yeah, you have.
I
to
thought
find You gotta find a way to do it.
Okay, I'm just inside the shed. So
Yeah. Wherever you go, they follow.
so I tell them, all right, guys, wait outside. We're gonna have a dance competition. I'll grab the band. You guys wait here.
Oh,
We'll never leave you, dancing dwarf.
I'm not telling you're not going away. He's not. I get. Yeah, I get involved. I say he's not going away. I say that out loud.
Your audio broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell him. I interject and I say he's not going away. He simply needs a moment to collect himself.
Oh, we'll never leave you, dancing dwarf.
Do I hear this?
Yes.
I press the metal thing.
Oh,
All right.
No.
Well,
No.
so the door closes,
Uh-huh.
and you're in the building, and the groupies are happy as can be
Wait, the
because they
groupies are in
came
the
in
building
too.
too? Oh.
I thought I only went into the shed.
The shed.
Oh, you only went into the shed? I
Yeah.
misunderstood. I thought you came into the building.
No, I said I wanted to go in the shed.
Okay, then you'll be located in the shed with your.
Okay.
So Jay and Borgin are in the shed. I mean,
Jay
sorry,
and
Nillian.
That's
Nillian.
No.
Nillian
Yeah,
and
Nillian
Borgin.
would be in the shed also because he went out there to tell him to be on the port. So yeah,
hmm
Can I tell that that's what that did?
yes.
Okay, so I go back to the door,
Mhm.
and I click
Yep.
on the pad again,
Okay, and it opens.
and I tell them, run inside, quick.
I
Okay.
And
think
then
so.
as soon as they come
Okay,
in, I
do
try
that.
and close the door before the groupies come in.
And it works. So Nillian comes in, Borgin comes in, you press the panel, the door closes, but it's got a safety on it. When it senses a body part, it reopens. Teen all pile in with you.
Oh,
And they're all looking around, they're like, cool.
Okay, I say I've had enough of this. I take my hammer and whack one over the head.
Oh no!